It's Rick. It is February the 15th, 2019. Half the month is gone. Okay, if you need to reach me, my email is rick, R-I-C-K, 0327 at me.com, and it will be in the description box. Some of my subs are helping me out in the comments section because there's always people like, what's his email address? And they're like, he tells you every time in the beginning of the video, and it's in the description. Okay, this stuff here, all right, this is not easy stuff, but I'm here to make it easy for you. Okay, it took me a long time to figure a lot of this stuff out. Okay, and what happened with me, the reason I was able to get as far as I got is because they became fearful of me because I figured out the whole scam out, and I would just write to their face and say, "You, this is a scam." There's a video, I believe I have a video posted in one of my videos where I'm telling this the support magistrate, you got no power, you got zero, zilch, none, zero, none, and she was fearful of me, and they just wanted to get rid of me. Okay, now when you know your rights, they become fearful of you. Let me show you real fast. All right, my man Aaron here. Now this is not, it's a victory for him, not that he got the support vacated, it's victory because they treated him with respect and that the information that I provided worked for him. All right, he didn't, I tell you guys, don't swear in. He didn't swear in. And then the adjudicator, judge, fake judge, whatever, says that, well, we can't proceed unless you're sworn in. You don't have to swear in. See, what they do is they use your ignorance against you. Now, there's a thing called informed consent. You know what informed consent is? Is really it's the same as the Miranda warning that you see, when you watch cops or all these TV shows, or what I used to say to guys when I arrested them: you have the right to remain silent. Informed consent is the same thing. What that Miranda warning is informed consent. And there's a line towards, at the end. Now that I have advised you of your rights, are you willing to talk? All right. Well, it's the same thing here. But what they do is they do not inform you of your rights. So your consent, many of you, your consent is based on misrepresentation, which is fraud. And many of you are threatened. There's 3 or 4 or 5 sheriffs around you because they're morons. Deputies, bailiffs, court. Those knuckleheads will do anything that these morons tell them. They don't realize that it hasn't dawned on them standing in a courtroom all day watching people's rights get obliterated, that what they're doing is wrong. I said that to one of the court officer bosses one time. I go, how do you guys stand here and watch this day in and day out, watching people getting their rights obliterated? And he shrugged his shoulders, and I'm like, I could tell you, me and my friends, I used to, when I became a cop, I came behind these guys who were a bunch of rebel rousers. They fought our bosses because I worked for a police department which was part of the New York and New Jersey Transportation organization. We had 1,500 cops. We were a big police department, and we were a bi-state agency. But we patrolled the airports. We patrolled a subway system. We patrolled the bridges, the tunnels. So if it was up to our bosses, of the agency, the Port Authority, they would just have us standing there all day and collect tolls. And because we had a patch on our shoulders that said police, we're like, no, we're police, and we're going to act like police. And we won. We won out. I'm not sure how it is now, but in other words, we would not stand by and watch people's rights get obliterated. And I don't understand how these guys do it, because technically they could be, legally they could be sued as well, because peace officers and law enforcement officers are not supposed to stand by and watch people's rights get obliterated. when your rights are being obliterated, a crime is being committed. Okay? But let's get back to Aaron here. I mean, you guys can read it. I'm not, I'm not gonna read the whole thing. But he did good. Uh, they were telling him hey Rick, just got back from a hearing for contempt. The mother filed the same civil contempt almost 2 years ago for the same reasons, for keeping his child 3 days. These women, they use these friggin' agreements. Not all women, but the women in the woman in this scenario, for not paying the full amount of child support monthly. With that being said, they did not have child support enforcement attorney there, so that tells me the paperwork does have standing, because he filed all the paperwork. The fake judge, so it was a fake judge, said it would be a different hearing in front of a different hearing officer. That didn't happen. I filed a vacate contempt. He filed a special appearance, 50-50 custody. He has a recording. Aaron, a recording. I can't hear it. It's not made for my software for some reason. I can't hear it. He didn't swear in. This is a. I don't really have the time to read all this. Basically, he let them know that they're violating his 7th Amendment right. Then they told him that the federal rules do not apply in court, which is bullshit. They do, because the Constitution is considered federal. So that's the argument. Rose versus, what the hell is it again? I should know it. Anyway, there's a case law. I'll put it in the description. And he says he forgot. He couldn't remember it either. Here's the simple argument, guys. When they tell you that federal rules and federal laws don't apply in state court, all you got to do is say, yeah, but I thought the Constitution of the United States is federal. Because that's the argument in the case law that I can't remember. Rose versus whatever, or something versus Rose. And it said that the supremacy clause of the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. So that means that federal law applies in state courts. Real simple stuff. All right, so the paperwork is working. Okay, what we got here? Another guy, he said, see, what's going on now, people are submitting the updated paperwork that I have, because I updated the paperwork going almost 2 months now, when we added all the new information that we have, about the Executive Order 12953, whether or not you're a federal employee at a federal agency, whether or not you're a member of the Uniformed Services, so on and so forth. And we're getting really good responses now. That's where my guy Mark in California got the response, where we got then we got the cooperative agreement, somebody helping us out. So as I ended my last video, I said it's kind of exciting for us right now. We're moving in the right direction, big time, okay? And John here filed response to income withholding order. Now he's got a hearing coming up for income withholding order. That's exciting. So that means he has an opportunity to go for a hearing and possibly walk out of there without income withholding order, right? So again, this is exciting stuff. The paperwork is working, all right? And, sadly, I like to help people, and I get people hit me up all the time, because for financial reasons, whatever, and they really need the paperwork. So I had this guy, he couldn't follow directions, real simple directions, he couldn't follow them. So he wound up sending money to the Venmo app to the wrong name, and the money got frozen. So he didn't have access to his money to send to me, because he couldn't follow directions. So, he's begging me for the paperwork. Morning, Rick, I'm in a bad spot here. I need the documents to clear my license and arrears so I can work. I called Venmo as soon as they are open. I said, can you please work with me? Then it's like, thank you. I spoke to customer service at Venmo. They said it will take 3 days as soon as I receive the money. Well, this was on Monday. Okay. And then I haven't heard back from this guy, and he's not returning my email. So in other words, F you, Rick. I got your paperwork. I'm not going to pay you. another stand-up guy, another deadbeat. So it's not surprising that this guy is, his license is suspended. He can't even be a man and honor a simple agreement that when he gets the money freed up, he'll send it to me. Because I sent him the paperwork to help him out. And I sent them also paperwork for court. He's set up. So he got the paperwork, and now he's basically telling me to go F myself. Because he's not responding to my emails anymore. So he's another deadbeat. So I just figured I'd show you guys what I got to deal with sometimes. And here's another thing that I deal with. This is really sad. I get a lot of stories every day. I tell you guys, I get really bad stories every day, and I don't advertise it. I send out paperwork to a lot of people sometimes for nothing. I don't ask for anything. And I'm going to tell you, this is really sad. I'm going to tell you that more than 50% of the people that I send paperwork to, they don't even say thank you. They do not reply with a simple thank you. It's really horrible. And I have to remind myself I can't punish other people because of the behavior of others. Simple thank you. I won't even get a thank you. It's unbelievable. But I got to move forward, all right? All right, so, but now I got that out of the way. All right. I told you guys they need consent, right? They need consent before you go to court. So under the Uniform Interstate Family Support Act, federal law, every state has to adopt it, okay? Every state. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to let you guys read the slides for your information, okay? Every state has Interstate Family Support Act that is a mirror image of the federal Uniform Interstate Family Support Act. UIFSA, if you want to call it that. UIFSA. Okay, Interstate Family Support Act. Every state has it. Now think about it. It's called the Uniform Interstate Family Support Act. I'm going to explain to you why they need your consent. All right? Every state must have their own version. Basically, but it's a mirror image. Okay. All right. So it's called the Family Support Act in some states. New York State is called the Family Court Act. All right. Jurisdiction, extended basis for jurisdiction over see, here's the key, non-resident, because remember it's interstate. So they create interstate law because they had, a father, let's say we're talking about a father would cross state lines, and one state didn't have jurisdiction in another state. So they created the federal interstate law, and every state adopted it. So when they say non-resident, they're really saying somebody that's really not a resident of the state, but they use it anyway. Okay, and if anybody's wondering why I have this my face, I use that whatever you call it, the special effect. It's because you can see through it. That's the only reason why I do it. It's not so I can look cool. So right now you can read this. Otherwise, if I was using the regular image, I'd have to keep moving. You wouldn't be able to read the wording. Okay, so right here, the jurisdiction, personal jurisdiction. Now every state law says this, by the way. The individual is personally served with a citation, summons, notice so you're served with a notice to show up. Okay, now pay attention. The individual, what an individual is a person. So what I'm gonna show you, do not let them call you an individual. Do not let them call you a person. I am a man. I am a woman. There's a reason for it. Okay? Submits to the jurisdiction of this state by consent in a record by entering a general appearance or by filing a responsive document having the effect of waiving any contest to personal jurisdiction. So what that means is we have to contest personal jurisdiction, and we have to tell them they do not have consent. You understand? That's how they get away with it. That's why non-residents, if you do not, by you not doing this, you're consenting. Okay, so that tells you right there they need consent. In every state, they need your consent. Okay, and these are the other reasons why, but that's the key reason right there. Okay, right here. The individual submits to the jurisdiction of this state. Okay, that's why, and from now on, when you show up to court, you're going to say, I am not making a general appearance. Don't even mention special appearance anymore, because some states, they got rid of it. All right, they got to take away anything that can help us. They got to remove. We're not allowed to have our rights, so they got to create all these little. They got to eliminate, like Maryland, you can't use a special appearance. It's a joke. But you could just say, I am here. I am not making special appearance. I am not subjecting myself to the jurisdiction of this court. And under no, make it clear, I am not waiving consent. Okay? I am not consenting to these proceedings. Okay? That way, they cannot hold you in default by you not showing up. See, they're slick. If you don't show up, they hold you in default. And then when you show up because you're scared, they claim that you submitted to the jurisdiction of the court. You see how slick they are? Really nice people. Really nice lawyers who scam this up. Okay? This is what I'm talking about. Section 102 definitions. Person means an individual, corporation, business, trust, estate, partnership. Are you a corporation? Are you a business? Are you a trust and estate? No, you're a man. You're a woman. You're a living, breathing human being. You're a people. People is a singular term. It's not, okay, it's not, it's not a group of people. It's not a group of men and women. It's one, singular. It's not plural. Okay, I was fumbling for that word. All right, so very important that in your paperwork, you do not use the word person. Okay, so here it's vital. Do not let them call you a person or individual. Object. I object to you calling me a person. I object to you calling me an individual. You could even put it in the paperwork. And I do put it in the paperwork. I cover that basis. It is vital that when you are in court, you argue that you are a sovereign state citizen whose sovereignty excludes you from any legal process. This is important. So please, they're going to call you a sovereign citizen. You're going to objection. I am not a sovereign citizen. I am a state citizen who is sovereign. Okay? Now, under 42 U.S.C. 659, subsection I, section 5, the term legal process means, excuse me, means any writ, order, summons, or other similar process in the nature of garnishment, okay, which is issued by a court or an administrative agency of competent jurisdiction in any state, blah, 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 okay? Okay, again, do not let the court or child support enforcement agency call you an individual. Do not let them call you a sovereign citizen. Okay. Enforcing a support order. First, a notice may be sent directly to the obligor's employer in another state, Section 5, which triggers income withholding by that employer without the necessity of a hearing unless the employee objects. I just showed you John has a hearing because he objected. Okay, so this is important. So as soon as you receive notice that they're gonna that they sent a income withholding order to your employer, you have to object. You have to object to the child support agency. Okay. Here's another thing. I just wrote one up for a guy the other day. When you live in one state but you came from another, let's say they initiated a support order against you in Florida and then you moved to Atlanta, they have to file in Georgia papers to register the foreign judgment. Okay, and that's what this is here. Registration, enforcement of a support order of another state. Guess what? You have the right to contest this because Georgia does not have jurisdiction over that order. It's a foreign judgment. All right, so you have to object to it. All right, these are definitions. Okay. All right. Initiating state means a state from which you proceed. See, that's initiating state because, again, this is meant for, this is interstate commerce. Okay, this is really interstate commerce. It's like, again, a man has a support order from California, then he moves to New York, so they want New York to enforce the California order. That's what they're doing. You know, in different states. I'm just giving you an example. Okay? I gave you person before. Okay, here we go again. Okay, the responding state. State means a state of, check this out, of the United States. Not United States of America, United States. Talking about the corporation here. Okay, means a state of the United States. So in other words, we're still talking about the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, blah, blah, blah. Hasn't changed. It's not a state in the continental United States of America. Okay, it's another slick writing by them. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to show you states with the same law. Okay, so this is New York State, an example of state laws for Uniform Interstate Family Support Act. Okay, Family Court Act, Article 5B is an order. It's a foreign order. It's an order from another state. You see, that's what started all of this stuff. And what they do is now they initiate it because they use presumptions. They initiate against people who never move from one state to another. But you don't know this, so you don't object, so they get away with it. That's why they use non-resident. But you are a resident. So I'm a resident. I am contesting. You do not have jurisdiction over me. I am not subjecting to an interstate law, the Uniform Interstate Family Support Act. Okay? Again, see? Basis for jurisdiction over non-resident in a proceeding to establish or enforce a support order or to determine parentage, right? That's paternity. A tribunal of this state may exercise personal jurisdiction over a non-resident individuals. Here we go. The individual submits to the jurisdiction of this state by consent, by entering, where we heard this before, by entering a general appearance or by filing a responsive document or other action having the effect of having any contest to personal jurisdiction. Doesn't it sound familiar? It's the same thing. They need your consent. That's why you must contest immediately. Okay? Here's Pennsylvania. Same. Pennsylvania. The individual submits to jurisdiction of the state by consent. This is not me. I'm just cutting and pasting it. By entering a general appearance, same thing. You got me, guys? They need your consent. And you must contest everything. This is Florida. The individual submits to the jurisdiction of the state by consent in a record by entering a general appearance, blah. Now we can do blah, blah, blah. Okay? Basis for jurisdiction over non-resident. Okay? But non-resident is one of those terms for like a corporation. When you're a living, breathing creature, you're not a resident. You're domiciled. So I would say non-domiciled, not non-resident. Okay, all these little terms that they use. Okay, So I'm sure, hopefully that you guys understand. I just showed you that they require your consent. Showed you a couple examples of people who's following my instructions. They're getting treated differently in court. One guy filed paperwork. He has a hearing for the income withholding order. Okay, and sadly, people who take advantage of my kindness. Okay, what are you gonna do? It happens. It's not a big deal. Just wanted to show you. I told the guy I'm gonna put him on in my video, and he didn't respond. Okay, and by the way, he's not the first guy. There's a couple people out there that I had one guy the other day, same thing. I thought he sent me money. I thought this guy was a guy, so I'm sending him paperwork. And then I realized he never sent me any money, and I told him, like, dude, I can't answer any more emails because you never sent me any money. Well, take a guess what happened. He doesn't respond to me anymore. Okay, everybody wants everything for free. Deadbeats. They're nothing but deadbeats, sadly. Okay, but not all of you are deadbeats. But that's how this stuff started. That's how these laws were created. A few bad apples ruin it for everybody. And that's how these laws were created. Okay? All right, guys. So, again, my email is rick, rick0327@me.com. I hope I've proven to you guys that everyone has to contest, and your consent is required. Okay? So, right away, when you're in court, you're going to say, I am contesting these proceedings. I am not making a general appearance. And I am not consenting under any circumstances. And there's nothing they can say, because then if you were smart, you'd print out the law, bring the law, and you'd start citing it. Okay? All right, people. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.